Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a close look at something I know is, well, top of mind for many of us, particularly if you're in that, say, 35 to 65 age range.
Right.
It's about how to really get a handle on our health as we, move through life. We're not just thinking about feeling okay today. We're thinking long term, staying vibrant, staying healthy for years to come.
That's exactly right. And, the usual annual checkup, it's necessary, sure, but often it only gives us a fairly surface level view.
Yeah, just the basics.
Especially when it comes to the nuances of aging and our individual metabolic stuff, what's really going on inside.
Exactly. And that's precisely why AgeCode by Genetic LifeSpan really piqued my interest. It's described as a way to get a much more personalized understanding.
Personalized, yeah.
Of your health and how you're aging, down at the cellular level. And honestly, the sheer convenience is a huge draw.
Oh, for sure.
We're talking about a simple blood draw at home using this Tasso device.
That little device you stick on your arm?
Yeah. So no more juggling schedules, trying to get to a lab for blood work. It seems super user-friendly.
That ease of use is, well, it's a game changer, isn't it? Taking away those annoying hurdles.
Right.
It makes this kind of deep health assessment just accessible to so many more people. A simple step, but potentially huge insights.
So, okay, our goal in this deep dive then is to really unpack what AgeCode offers. How does it actually give you this detailed picture? The health and aging markers. And maybe more importantly, how can that information become a real tool for you and for your doctor?
Well, it's pretty comprehensive. AgeCode establishes your individual baseline for biological age.
Okay, biological age.
Yeah, how your body's aging compared to your actual years.
Yeah.
And it also pinpoints your personal pace of aging.
Pace of aging, like how fast?
Exactly, how quickly you're aging year over year. Plus, it digs into the health of 11 key organ systems.
11? Wow, that's a lot.
It is, and it doesn't stop there. It looks into your immune function, gives nutritional and metabolic insight,
Right.
Assesses cellular energy, how you handle stress, environmental factors, inflammation markers, oxidative stress.
So much detail.
Even genetic risk factors, hints at fitness potential, and food or environmental sensitivities. It's like painting a really detailed picture, like you said.
Yeah, it really sounds like it.
It is. And, it's important to make a distinction here between your fixed genetics, what you're born with, and epigenetics.
Right. Epigenetics, that's the lifestyle influence part.
Exactly. How your lifestyle, your environment, influences how those genes actually work, how they're expressed. AgeCode mainly focuses on these epigenetic changes.
So it's like a current snapshot.
Precisely. A snapshot of how your habits are impacting your health right now at a molecular level.
Okay, so let's get into the core of it then. These concepts like biological age and pace of aging, what are they really telling us? Practically speaking.
Okay, think of it this way. Your chronological age, that's just the number of candles on your birthday cake, right?
Right, simple number.
Your biological age is more about how your body is functioning internally.
Right.
How it's aging compared to that number. It's a functional assessment, wear and tear, basically.
Okay, makes sense.
And your pace of aging tells you if you're, say, aging faster,
Yeah.
maybe slower, or about average for your age each year that passes.
Got it. So it's someone who's, 50 chronologically, they could actually have a biological age that looks more like 40. Or maybe even 60.
Exactly, depending on all sorts of factors, lifestyle, environment, genetics playing a background role. And AgeCode goes even further. It estimates the age of specific organ systems.
Like your heart, brain.
Yeah, heart, brain, liver, kidneys, lungs,
Yeah.
the main ones. And their individual rates of aging, too.
Wow.
Now, it's really crucial to remember. These aren't diagnoses. Okay, they're not saying you have a disease.
Right, important clarification.
But they offer valuable clues within your overall health picture. So, for instance, if your cardiovascular system age looks significantly higher than your overall biological age,
Yeah.
that might prompt you and your doctor to be more proactive. Maybe manage blood pressure or cholesterol earlier than you might have otherwise, based just on your birthday number.
Okay, so it's flagging areas for attention. So the test covers a really broad range. Can we zoom in a bit, maybe on metabolic health or immune health?
Sure, yeah. For metabolic health, AgeCode can give you insights into your levels of key vitamins, mineral, things like that, and how efficiently your body's managing energy and weight.
Okay.
And for immune health, it can help spot markers of, say, hidden inflammation.
Which we hear so much about now.
We do. We now understand it plays a huge role in lots of age-related conditions. So AgeCode looks at various biomarkers.
Biomarkers. Like little signals.
Yeah, think of them as molecular signals in your body. For example, high levels of certain inflammatory biomarkers. That might indicate some underlying chronic inflammation going on.
Okay, so it's picking up these signals. Now, when you actually get your AgeCode results back, what's the first thing you see? What does it look like?
Well, the baseline results section is kind of your starting point. You'll see your chronological age right there next to your calculated biological age.
See the comparison immediately.
Exactly. Then it gives you your overall organ system's age, like an average, and your pace of aging number. It gives you that immediate overview, that big picture.
Okay. And I noticed in a sample report I saw, it also gives these statistical estimates based on biological age for things like COPD or heart disease risk.
Yes, that's right. By comparing your biological age against data from, large population studies, the report provides these statistical likelihoods.
Statistical.
But it's really vital to understand these are probabilities.
Yeah.
They're not definitive predictions. You don't look at it and panic.
Right. It's not a diagnosis.
No. They're more like flags, things that might warrant a deeper conversation with your doctor about maybe preventive steps or lifestyle tweaks.
That's a really important distinction. Information to inform, not to alarm. Okay, then there's this organ system's age overview, showing the estimated age and pace for individual organs. I saw an example where, the kidney age was flagged as potentially at risk. What does that mean?
Exactly. So if one particular organ system seems to be aging faster than your overall biological age, that's valuable information.
Okay.
Again, it doesn't automatically mean there's a disease right now, but it highlights an area where maybe you and your doctor want to pay closer attention.
So it could prompt further investigation.
It could. Or just more focused monitoring. So if someone sees an organ flagged like that, the next step is definitely talking to their doctor. It really opens the door for more targeted conversations, maybe earlier interventions if needed.
Got it. And the report digs into nutrients too, right? Key nutrient insights. I saw things like alpha-ketoglutarate, AKG, and betaine, choline.
Yes. For each of those nutrients and others, the report shows your level, whether it's looking elevated, optimal, or maybe deficient. And it briefly explains why it matters.
Like what it does in the body.
Yeah. So AKG, for instance, is involved in making energy in your cells. Betaine, or TMG they call it, plays a role in liver health, metabolism. Choline's important for brain function.
Okay.
So if your choline looks low, the report might mention its role and maybe even suggest some dietary sources. Again, it empowers you for that doctor conversation about your specific nutritional needs.
It sounds incredibly detailed. I also saw sections like protein metabolite profile, oxidative protection metrics. Sounds complex.
They offer even finer-grained insights, Looking into your body's metabolic processes, how it handles proteins, and its ability to fight off damage from free radicals. That's the oxidative protection part.
Right, antioxidants and stuff.
Exactly. So that section might look at levels of antioxidants your body uses, like acetyl L-carnitine or alpha-tocopherol, which is vitamin E.
Okay. And there was an immune function assessment, too, mentioning something called the CD4-CD8 ratio. What's that about?
Yes. The CD4-CD8 ratio, it basically reflects the balance between two important types of immune cells, T cells. They're key players in your immune system's response.
Okay.
An imbalance, say a low ratio, might suggest certain shifts in immune function. But like everything else here, it's a data point, a conversation starter with your healthcare provider, not a standalone conclusion.
Gotcha. Data, not diagnosis. Now, you mentioned AgeCode is primarily looking at epigenetics, the lifestyle influence, but the report also mentions understanding your results, genetic predispositions. How do those fit in if it's mainly epigenetic?
Yeah, that's a really good question and an important clarification. The main focus is on those changeable epigenetic markers, the ones influenced by lifestyle.
Okay.
But the analysis also considers certain underlying genetic variations. They're called SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, tiny variations in your DNA code that you're born with.
Ah, okay. So it looks at both.
It considers the SNPs because they can give clues about certain tendencies or predispositions you might have. But the report really emphasizes that even if you have a certain genetic tendency, your lifestyle choices, diet, exercise, sleep, can significantly influence whether or how strongly that tendency actually shows up in your health. Your epigenetics can often override or modify the genetic predisposition.
So genes aren't necessarily destiny. Lifestyle matters hugely.
Hugely. That's a key message. And related to that, there's also a section on weight and obesity, which explicitly considers both genetic factors and lifestyle influences.
Makes sense. What kind of things does it look at there?
It analyzes genetic markers related to how your body might process carbs or fats, for example, or how you metabolize nutrients like folate or vitamin D, which can also play a role in weight management alongside your diet and activity levels.
Wow. Okay, this is all fascinatingly detailed, but let's bring it back to someone listening, maybe in that 35 to 65 range.
Right.
What's the real practical value here? How does this translate into, action, managing their health better?
Yeah, the core value proposition, I think, is that this AgeCode report gives you this highly personalized, really detailed map of your biological aging and your metabolic function right now.
A map. I like that.
Instead of your doctor maybe relying only on standard, broad screening tests, or, frankly, making some educated guesses, this report offers specific data points. Across multiple organ systems, key biological pathways, it empowers your doctor.
How so?
Well, they can then potentially order more targeted, more relevant follow-up tests if they're needed, based on your specific results. It leads to a more precise, more personalized approach to your healthcare.
So it helps move away from that kind of one-size-fits-all approach towards something much more tailored to the individual.
Exactly that. It provides a level of detail that can really refine the whole process, potentially streamline your healthcare journey. Someone once described it to me as helping take some of the practice out of practicing medicine.
Huh. I like that. Takes the practice out.
Because you're giving the doctor a much clearer picture, a better roadmap of your unique biological landscape to guide their decisions. Less guesswork, more data-driven insight.
That is a really powerful way to frame it. Okay, so recapping here. If you're in that, say, 35 to 65 zone, and you're really serious about understanding your long-term health path, AgeCode seems to offer this incredibly detailed look inside at your body's aging process, your metabolic function, and the fact that it all starts with a simple at-home blood draw using that Tasso device, well, that makes taking the first step seem pretty easy, pretty convenient.
Absolutely. That accessibility is key. And then you receive this comprehensive report. It covers everything from your biological age versus your chronological age, your pace of aging,
right,
to the estimated age and health of individual organ systems, your key nutrient levels, immune markers, just a wealth of information.
And ultimately, this isn't just about getting cool data points, is it? It's about enabling better conversations.
Exactly. More informed, more targeted conversations with your doctor or healthcare provider.
Leading to, hopefully, a more personalized strategy for managing your health, and maybe even avoiding some unnecessary tests or delays along the way.
Precisely. It really shifts the focus towards being proactive about your health management, driven by a much, much deeper understanding of your own unique biology.
It definitely makes you think, how could gaining this kind of deeper understanding, this look at our internal biological landscape, how could that fundamentally change how we approach our long-term health and well-being? It really encourages you to think beyond those, traditional models of just annual checkups.
It really does. It's about personalized, proactive longevity.
Well, thanks for this incredibly insightful deep dive. It's certainly given me, and I hope everyone listening, a new perspective on what's possible in proactive health management.